Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Vinyasa Flow class. I'm Dee. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Let your legs fall into whatever position helps you sit up nice and tall, but yet stay in a comfortable position. Your hands can rest by your side or on your lap, your knees, anywhere you'd like, really, maybe at your heart, even. One hand at the chest, one hand at the navel is another nice position to take, especially when we work on pranayama, which we're going to do in a few moments here. If you haven't already, close down your eyes or bring your gaze more low, maybe almost to the floor. Maybe you can sort of unfocus your eyes. And begin to become aware of your breath. Take a few inhales and exhales. And while you're doing that, just take inventory with your body. See if you can sort of observe whatever is going on in certain areas. Maybe there's pain, maybe there's discomfort. In other words, just feel what your body has to offer you today. And then begin to let the inhales and exhales become more slow. Let them become more deep, more full, more released. And next, we'll begin to take some belly breaths, letting the next inhale be drawn deeper down towards the navel, expanding, softening the belly as you breathe in. And then exhaling and tightening up the muscles and the abdomen, upper and lower. Just feeling that pulsating motion. Maybe you view it as the tide. However you see yourself, watch yourself breathe. And if belly breathing doesn't work for you today, you can try extended exhales. Extended exhales is more of a meditative breath, and maybe you're feeling more in the mood for that. All of us coming with different needs to our mats to practice together and to make yoga our own so that it can fulfill whatever it is within that we're looking for. Release your belly breathing or your extended exhale and let your body take over again. Let your mind just stay on the breath, but there's not any control happening from the mind. The body's kind of on its own. Think of it that way. And let's now flutter open our eyes. Maybe look straight ahead or at our screen. Let's begin to wiggle our fingers. I try to cue so that you can tell what I'm doing by listening. That way you can become absorbed in your own body and mind as you listen for the next cue. If you'd like, you can straighten out your legs and start to wiggle your toes. Our first movement will be from staff. And so this is a nice place to wiggle and kind of release, stretch, lengthen. See if you can feel your two sits bones pressing into the floor underneath you, even as you point and flex and move your legs. Maybe you're bending and straightening your knees. Let's come forward in a forward fold with a sun breath. So on the next inhale, let's lift our arms out, and up towards the sky. Exhale, draw your chest towards your legs. Let your hands release more quickly. And let's keep a flat back, letting the head be an alignment and an extension of the spine. Maybe you can feel the backs of your legs pressing into the floor here, your heels pressing into the floor. Let's go ahead and press through the heels. I just released myself from my forward fold a little bit, and now I'm going to come back into it with that flat back. So I'm just moving a tiny little bit here first. Feeling the stretch in the hamstrings more here. And then as we exhale, let's continue to round our shoulders. Not continue to round the shoulders. Continue to lower. Begin to round the shoulders. Drop the chin towards the chest. Take a breath here. Letting your body release. This time the lengthening is felt in the spine, from the tailbone to the brainstem. This is the first one of 7 movements of the spine. Let's inhale, lifting back up. It's kind of our cat rounding of the spine there. Good. Let's release back. We can set our hands back behind us, fingertips the chest, pressing down on the hands, maybe releasing the head back, but being careful of your cervical spine and doing what's in your daily practice only here. Maybe you like bending up through your knees more. And then let's begin to press off of the hands behind us and bring them to the front. From here, bring our legs into whatever position is comfortable for you. I'm going to come into log, the square log pose. And so we can lay one lower leg alongside the top of the mat that we're sitting facing, and then place the other leg on top. I'm going to use a block in between to help me support my leg better. Sitting up nice and tall, let's begin to take a twist from here. We'll inhale the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, send the opposite hand from the top leg forward. So we'll turn our chest, drop both hands, let them float to the floor. We can take our front arm, hold on to that top knee, and we'll come deeper into the twist as we sit up nice and tall here. Let's take 3 breaths. Let's exhale, releasing the chest and head and neck come back to front. We'll plant the lower leg side palm. We'll come into a lateral stretch next. Let's inhale. Opposite arm comes up. Exhale, releases you over, away from that top knee. Good. Inhale, we'll come back up to center. Exhale, we'll release that arm down. And let's switch our leg position. No matter what shape you found comfortable, either put the opposite foot forward or on top. Unless you were in staff pose, and then you can stay right where you were, sitting up nice and tall. We'll inhale, the arms come out and up. We're going to exhale, turning toward the knee that's on top, releasing the hands as we go, and looking over toward this side of the room. Front or forward hand comes to the top knee, and give yourself a twist here. Take 3 breaths. After the 3rd breath, release yourself around to the front. We'll plant the opposite hand. So this is the hand on the side of the lower leg. We'll inhale. Arm on the other side goes straight up. We'll exhale, reaching over, opening those side ribs. Inhale to come back up, straight up and down. Exhale, we'll release that arm by our side. Let's now release the legs. Bend through the knees if your knees were straight. Straighten your knees if they were just bent. And let's extend our crown, the top of our heads, towards the sky, sitting up nice and tall, however you're comfortable. Maybe you're even in a chair. Nice. Take a couple more breaths here. All right. When you're ready, release now to the floor. We're going to take our folded blanket or towel that's under our hips, and we're going to place it so that as we lie down, our armpit of the arm that we're going to draw right alongside our head below us. This part of the arm, the shoulder blade back here, is going to be on this blanket. So we'll come on to one side and we're going to do a series of somatic exercises now that have been adopted from the work of a woman named Eleanor Criswell Hannah. And she is part of the somatic exercise movement in terms of helping people with injuries and maintain their bodies, mobility, and health. So we are going to lie on one side. Our arm, as I mentioned, is up over our head, and we'll place our top hand and arm right alongside our torso, and we can relax the hand against the hip or the back of the glutes here. All right. And what we'll do first is make some circles with our hip and with our shoulder, and they're going to go in the same direction. So arm down by your side, begin to circle this half of the body and just sort of notice what's going on. We're going to do these movements very slowly, circling in the same direction, the hip and the shoulder moving synchronously. Stop and then reverse and do your shoulder and hip circles the opposite way. Okay, so loosening up this side of the body, moving very slowly. Okay, we'll come back to a neutral position. That means our hips and our shoulders are stacked back on top of each other. This time, see if you can draw the top shoulder back and the top hip forward. And you may want to draw your arm back behind you. You may even draw your top foot in front of you. And then we'll roll back into neutral position, which means our hips and our shoulders are stacked. Let's do 2 more of these where we're moving one major part of our skeletal system back and one part forward. And then we'll come back to center. Keep your legs stacked on top of each other. Your arm can be anywhere by your side, maybe even on the floor in front of you. Let's lift the knees, but keep the feet together now. So on your next inhale, we'll lift. And on your next exhale, we'll lower. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Let an inhale lift. And an exhale, lower. All right, from here, let's bring the top knee in towards the chest and then straighten out that leg, pressing through the heel, lengthening as if we were standing on that top half. And let's do a couple more of these. Nice. Let's ourselves here, and we'll go ahead and flip to the other side. You might choose to face the opposite direction, or you might choose to face the same direction, but move to the opposite end of your mat. Once again, that lower arm is drawn up next to our face, kind of by our ear. And then the upper arm is lengthened right alongside, and you can kind of curl your hand around your hip. All right, take a breath or two here, and then see if you can get your upper hip and your upper shoulder to move in a circle around and around together. So you're kind of rocking forward and back, up and down. And then we'll stop here and we'll reverse going the opposite way with our circles. Bring yourself back to neutral position, shoulders and hips stacked. And next, let's reach our upper shoulder back behind us and let the upper hip rock forward. So if it helps to extend and then release your upper arm and leg, you can do that. If you're able to roll them in opposite directions without moving your arm and leg from being stacked, that's fine too. Next time you inhale, let's lift the knee, keeping the feet together, and we'll exhale to lower. Do a couple more of these. Moving very slowly at your own pace. And then as you're ready, tucking that knee in on the next exhale, lengthening the leg long on the next inhale, as if you were standing. Let's do it a couple more times. Exhaling. And then inhaling. Lengthening the leg. Release that leg. Top leg stacks on top of bottom. And from here, let's move into a vinyasa sequence. So let's come up to table first. We'll shift over onto our side, get our hands and knees underneath us. Hands right underneath shoulders and knees right underneath hips. We'll do a few rounds of this next vinyasa sequence. We'll kind of start small. We've done I think we've done all of this actually before. And so we'll be getting our bodies to move in ways that keep us pretty low to the ground here. Let's start in child's pose. Exhaling from our table, flattening our feet, keeping the knees hip distance apart, and releasing the hips towards the heels, and then the chest and the head towards the floor. We'll inhale and come up to table from there. Exhale, take a cat bow. Keep your elbows in, begin to bend them. Reach your head down, the crown of your head as you shift forwards, and exhale. Inhale back to table. Exhale back to child's pose. Take a breath here. Inhale up to table. Flat, neutral back. Exhale, cat bow. Lower your head. Come onto or over, you hover over your hands there. Inhale, come back to table. Exhale, sink to child's pose. One more time with that little bit, and then we'll continue onward from there. Inhale up to table. Good. Exhale, cat bow. Inhale, back to table. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, up to table. Exhale, cat bow. Inhale, back up to table. Exhale, curl under the toes, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, float your knees down to table. Exhale, flatten the feet, sink back into child's pose. Inhale, come up to table. Exhale, cat bow. Inhale, back up to table. Exhale up to downward facing dog. Stretch here for a breath or two. And then exhale, float the knees down. And exhale again, sinking into child's pose. Let's inhale, coming back up to table. Exhale, cat bow. Inhale, back up to table. Exhale, downward facing dog. Press into your left foot. Inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Exhale, draw your knee towards your chest. Inhale, right leg stays lifted. The heel comes up and back. Exhale, bends the knee. Inhale, opens to the side, knee lifts. Exhale, squaring back down, coming into downward facing dog. Next exhale, sinking to table. Exhaling again into child's pose. Take a breath here or two. And then as you're ready, inhale back up to table. Exhale, cat bow. Inhale, back to neutral table. Exhale, up into downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. Just on the right foot, inhale, lift the left foot up and back. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Inhale, left foot up and back again. Exhale, turn to the side, bending the knee, reaching the toes towards the floor. Inhale, come back to square, leg lifted. Exhale, releases the left foot. Another exhale brings you to table. And the last exhale brings you back into child's pose. Take a breath or two here. And just feel your heartbeat. As your body adjusts to the movements. We won't really slow down, so on the next inhale, lift back up to table. We'll come up to standing through either downward facing dog or through high kneel. We'll meet either standing or in a forward fold, your choice. Surrendering in the forward fold for a breath or two if you'd like. Feels good here. And when you're ready, inhale, press down through both feet. Lift the arms out to the side or in front, up overhead, hands, palms come together. And we'll exhale our hands to our heart. Let's come to the top of our mat for some sun salutations. We're going to alternate left and right side and do 2 different rounds. So on the next inhale, we'll lift our arms up overhead. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release again into a forward fold. Plant your hands and step your left foot back. You can drop that knee, flatten the left foot, or you can stay toes tucked in a high lunge. If you'd like, let your next inhale lift your upper body up away from the floor. Find your grounding through your feet. And as you're ready, inhale your arms up overhead, coming into a wide V or narrow arms, whichever makes you most comfortable. Exhale to release the arms, come down. We'll step that right foot back, coming into half plank or plank. Holding here, building our strength if we'd like, or releasing immediately into a chaturanga. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Keep them into the sides. Lower the body. Flatten the feet. Inhale, come up to cobra. Exhale, release to the floor. Inhale, curls the toes under. Lift the hips and knees up and back into downward facing dog. Take a breath here in down dog. And then as you're ready, press in to the right foot. Let an inhale lift that left foot up and back. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Step that left foot through. Lower the back leg. Flatten the back foot for a low lunge, or keep that back knee lifted for a high lunge. Lift yourself on an inhale up away from your leg. And as you're ready, lift your arms up over your head, or keep them at your side or your heart if that's more comfortable. Exhale, we'll reach forward, stepping that back foot forward, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release again over the legs. Inhale, lift up, arms out and up. Standing, exhale, hands come down to the heart. Take a breath or two here. Notice how your body's feeling. Maybe get a drink, look out the window a little bit, ground yourself by looking around the room. And let's move to the opposite side. Inhale, the arms come up overhead. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, straight legs, hands on legs somewhere. Exhale, release and fold again. Inhale, this time we step the right foot back. Inhale again, lifting up away from the floor. Low kneel, high kneel. Shoulders almost stacked over hips. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, release the hands, plant the palms, step the left foot back into plank or half plank. Breathe here. Stay if you'd like for an extra breath. Inhale to press on the toes. Exhale, lowers the upper body, elbows in, feet flatten. Inhale, come up to cobra. Exhale to release. Curl the toes under. Inhale, downward facing dog. Press into the left foot and inhale to lift the right foot up and back. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose. Step that right foot through. Low lunge or high lunge, depending on the back knee. Inhale up to being in alignment with the shoulders and hips. And then inhale the arms wherever they're comfortable. Not worrying about where other people's arms might be. Exhale, we'll release the hands. Step forward as we lean forward, coming back into a forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release once again. Inhale to standing, lifting the arms, the hands. Exhale, coming down to the heart. Let's press the thumb knuckles into the sternum here. And take a couple of breaths in our mountain pose. Eyes opened or closed, depending on your balance needs. And let's move to another sun salutation. Inhaling the arms up. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Bent knees. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, release the chest, palms flatten, step the left foot back, lower high lunge. Inhale, lifting the chest up away from the front thigh. Another inhale to lift the arms. Nice. Take an extra breath here. Exhale to release the hands. Step that right foot back. Come into plank or half plank. If you want, come into side plank here. Releasing as you're ready back into plank or half plank. Good. Letting the next inhale lift you. And then exhale, lowers you slightly forward. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, down dog. Press in to that right foot. Inhale, the left foot draws up and back. Exhale, bring the knee forward. The foot steps through, comes in between the hands. Float the back knee down or leave it lifted for a high lunge. Let your next inhale lift the arms. And then we'll exhale, coming back into the forward fold. Right foot steps up. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release again. Inhale to standing, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a couple of breaths, and we'll finish up the other side. Inhale the arms up over your head. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, releases and plant the hands. Step the right foot back. Lower high lunge. Inhale the chest up away from the forward thigh. Inhale, arms. Exhale, releases, plants the hands, left foot steps back. Maybe you come to a plank or half plank. Maybe you come to a side plank. Exhale to square your plank off if you went to the side. Inhale, exhale, release to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, crocodile. curl under the toes, inhale up to downward facing dog. This time we press into the left foot. We inhale to lift the right foot up and back. Exhale draws that right knee forward. We'll step the right foot up till it's even with the hands. Either drop the back knee or stay lifted as you inhale, lifting up away from your thigh. Inhale to lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, come into a forward fold. Maybe your hands found blocks or the floor. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, release again. Inhale, arms and hands come up overhead, palms together. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment in a mountain pose here. Feet on the floor. And pressing into your mat, or you could be on a rug. Some people like to get off their mat for their balance poses. So whatever works for your body, however you feel the most grounded. Let's work on our hand to big toe strength here. We'll press into both legs to begin. We'll keep our left leg as our standing leg, bend our right knee, draw those toes forward. And we could toe tap to begin. It depends on your level of yoga practice, how long it might be before you can lift your knee, even with your hip, and hold it there. So we may work on this, keeping that standing leg in the present moment, gripping into the floor by way of the mat. If we're here and we'd like to see if opposite hand, the first two fingers can grab onto the big toe, we can extend the leg forward and straighten the knee. Puts a lot of pressure on both hips. So come out as slowly as you can with maybe a bit more notice than I came out with. Sometimes that happens. As we lose our balance, we come out a little faster. Let's shake the legs, step from side to side. No need to push through and create an injury. Let's come back to our mountain pose, stepping into both feet and legs evenly, using the sensations on the bottom of the feet to grip whatever surface you're standing on. We'll go ahead and keep this time the right knee, or excuse me, leg as our standing leg. We'll bend the left knee, lifting the left heel, starting to toe tap. Repositioning that right foot and leg if we need to, using a prop if we need to. It's tons better to try doing nose to big hand using a surface next to you or piece of furniture, such as a wall or a dresser. And then you can feel what these poses feel like supported, which makes it easier to know what you're going for as far as a feeling when you're ready to move without the support. So let's release from that pose if you haven't already. We're going to try it one more time on each side, and maybe you are moving to do this somewhere else in your room. So we're standing in mountain. You choose which side you work on first. Bend the knee of the leg you'll be lifting and start with your knee taps, maybe repositioning, maybe gripping a little tighter or in a different way, how you're holding on to your furniture. And as you're ready, see what you can feel comfortable doing and how you're able to connect, binding your hands with your feet, that big toe, releasing as you're ready, setting yourself up to try on the opposite side, giving yourself grace. Today, maybe things aren't quite so balanced internally for you. And as you're ready, begin to make your way down towards the mat in table. I'm going to go ahead and place some cushion under my knees. And let's come into some cat-cows here. Letting the spine undulate, releasing the navel, and then tucking it in and up, alternating back and forth. Let's bring our spine to neutral. And from here, let's head into pigeon on the left. So walk your hands, 2 handprints forward. Shift your weight on your right to bring up your left knee towards that left wrist. We can keep our foot right underneath us, and we can also bring our blocks to prop up that left hip as needed. So we've got our knee near our wrist on the left side. See if you can walk your foot to the right until your heel comes right to the center of your thigh as you release that right leg back and down and kind of cinch or scoot yourself towards the floor. Now, we're all built differently in our hips. I'm going to place a block underneath my hip. And so we might look a little different. Maybe our hips are a little high. We can't sink them as close to the floor. Maybe our leg, our forward leg is more in alignment with the heel closer to the hip. See if you can release your body forward, maybe come onto your forearms, drop just the head, or you can drop the chest and shoulders entirely and kind of lay on this forward leg, giving it a nice stretch. And let's take 3 breaths here. Nice. Okay, our next movement is going to be to either plank or half plank from here. So you can stay low on your forearms with your hands, palms together, fingers interlaced, or you can place both hands underneath you and step your left foot back, lengthening and straightening it out, then lifting the right knee up off the floor or letting the left knee come into that low plank and keeping it here. Excuse me, half plank and keeping it here. Hips in line, upper body working to be strong. Now from here, let's see if we can come into downward facing dog. Let your hips lift a little bit. Walk your feet in toward you, but maybe keep them out a little wider than the hips. Let's use that same left foot to inhale, lifting it up towards the ceiling, pressing into that right foot, keeping that right foot low. And then as we draw the foot forward, we'll sink the right knee down. Sorry, we're coming into lizard on the left side here. And we're allowing our arms to stay straight, keeping us somewhat lifted. You might try using a couple different heights. We're trying to bring our chest and shoulders to the inside of that left knee and foot. And we're relaxing the right hip forward and down. From here, Let's come back into our downward facing dog by walking our left hand to the outside of that left foot, lifting that right knee up off the mat, and then lifting the hips and the knees up and back in downward facing dog. Good. Stretch here. Walk the dog for a breath or two, and then let the knees float down to the mat. From your table position, walk your hands 2 handprints forward. This time, the right knee comes forward towards that right wrist. Maybe we stay here using blocks for support. Maybe that right foot moves over towards the left side. We cinch our hips down. We might bring our forearms onto the blocks. 2 work really well. We might release our chest and head to the blocks, or we might totally release to the floor here in our pigeon. Take 3 breaths. Now, on the next inhale, we're going to lift up and come into our plank or half plank pose. Taking a breath or two before lifting again to come into downward facing dog. Press into that left foot and inhale, lifts the right leg up and back, bend the knee, draw it towards your chest. This time we'll release the left knee to the floor. Right hand comes inside of right foot if available. We can turn that right knee out. Sink our bodies down towards the floor. Press into the top of the back foot. Keep your hips, shoulders, and head lengthened and in alignment. See if you can relax your core here. As you're ready, see if you can come back into a low lunge and then come from there back into an downward facing dog. And then let's sink into that upward facing dog. Hands underneath shoulders, elbows slightly bent, releasing hips to the floor, feet flat, and let's sink back and down into child's pose from there. Take a few breaths here, however much you need to begin to be a little more even in your breathing. And then let's come on down to the mat on our spines, supine. We can place the blanket behind the head now. We're not going to come into bridge today. So make the back of your head comfortable against the floor. Nice. All right, from here, let's lengthen our legs on our mat. We'll lay our arms down by our side. Let's point our toes towards the stars, press through our heels as if we're standing. On the next inhale, lift your arms straight out in front of you and up over your head. And as you exhale, let the arms come up and then down by your side. Let's do that 2 more times. At your own pace. Now let's take 3 more sun breaths with our arms going out to the side. So as you're ready, moving at your own pace, arms come out to the side and then up overhead, and then they exhale and arms release. Awesome. All right, let's walk both feet up onto the mat. Let's bring one knee in at a time and we'll hug both knees in towards the chest. Feel your spine rounding. Feel your trunk of your body just relaxing against the floor. How do your arms feel? How do your legs feel after all that, all those planks and downward facing dogs? Just enjoy spending some time with your knees brought in. If you want to circle your legs or knees or move them towards and away from you or apart and together, all those are really good options here. Hi, stretch. My little assistant has awoke. All right, let's let the feet float down to the mat. And on your next exhale, begin letting the knees fall to one side in windshield wipers. As you're ready to inhale, lift the knees back up, windshield wiper to the opposite side. All right. Next time your knees are over to the right, let them release and relax. Maybe even draw the left hip on top of the right, left knee aligned with the right, left ankle aligned. And then see if you can ground your left shoulder. Kind of twist your body to keep your chest facing up towards the sky. Shoulders in alignment, arms out wide. Maybe you're rocking your head from left to right here. And then find some stillness for 3 breaths. And then on your next inhale, lift your knees up towards the ceiling. Rock back onto that left hip. Let your knees continue to release to the opposite side. And come into your two-legged twist here, grounding both shoulders to the mat, right side, really sticking to the floor here, not lifting anywhere except for the knee. The knee should be lifted so that the shoulder can sink. Opposite shoulder. Take one more breath here. All right, on our next inhale, bring yourself back to center and take 2 to 3 breaths to do whatever pose your body still wishes to experience. And then settle yourself into a comfortable shavasana shape, lengthening the arms and legs, perhaps bending up through the knees, keeping the feet on the floor, maybe coming into reclined butterfly. Arms and hands where they're comfortable, palms facing up or down. Gently close down the eyes and begin to be aware of your breath, be aware of its pace. See if you can slow it down. even it out. Let your whole body sink toward the floor. All the places that are touching the floor, the upper body sinking towards the lower body. Try to relax every muscle in the body. Maybe you're even still moving to find a comfortable position. That's okay. We like that you're working to know your body enough to know where comfortable is. And now focusing on the breath brings everything back together. Let yourself soak up this experience here. Now, as you're ready, begin to start moving first by rocking your head from left to right. Add in your fingers and your toes when you're ready. Slowly coming back to life here. Let's bring our chin to the center and we'll make our way over onto one side, pressing ourselves up away from the floor. We'll all meet seated in a comfortable position, legs in whatever shape we'd like. Sitting up nice and tall on both sits bones, releasing our arms by our side. Let's inhale, lifting our hands and arms up towards the sky. Exhale, palms come together, hands release to the heart. Closing down the eyes, letting the next exhale release our chin to our chest, lengthening our spine as we bow to the divine that's found in each one of us. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Let's inhale, lifting our chin. Eyes come to neutral. They flutter open, releasing the hands. Thank you all so much for joining me for a little somatic movement today, a nice lower vinyasa sequence, and then some sun salutations. I hope it gave you the balance you needed to feel in your bodies. Thanks so much and see you next week. Take care.